Will Auburn's defense be able to do enough to slow down the Ole Miss offense enough to where Bo Nix and their offense can score enough points to beat Ole Miss? Can Ole Miss overcome their shaky road play and basically history to overcome Auburn and continue to stay on the heels of Alabama? Both teams need this win. Stay tuned to find out who I think will win. How's it going out today, boys and girls in sporty land? This is JPC, and I am the outlaw of college football, and this is, and always will be, without a shadow of a doubt, the home of the Common Joe and Common Sally, and no, even more so than all those media talking heads. Now today, class, I want to step in here and do another prediction video. As you know, the Magic Marlin Hat last week went 4-0. Put their little streak on the line last week with, actually this week, with a risky pick that I took just a few days back. I actually took an upset pick with the Florida Gators beating the Georgia Bulldogs. But today, we're going to step in here and we're going to talk about those Ole Miss Rebels versus the Auburn Tigers at Auburn on the Plains. Now, Auburn and Ole Miss have had a history of the team that's usually favored does win this series, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't had time to check the line on this game, but if I had to guess, I would think maybe Ole Miss is a slight favorite in this game. But once again, it's in Auburn on the Plains. So that's always a real hard place to play, especially Auburn. It seems like they've got some kind of magic voodoo or some kind of four-leaf clover that they can literally pull out of their ass from time to time to win a game or two, especially a game that they are not expected to win. So, I think that this all boils down to, and it's pretty obvious, like I said in the lead-up, is can the Ole Miss offense be slowed down enough by the Auburn defense for Auburn to actually score enough points to win this game? And the fact that Ole Miss has sort of struggled on the road as far as wins lends me to believe that Auburn might be able to pull this out as well. They might be able to pull the upset just like I think Florida can. But the thing is with Auburn is I believe that their inconsistent play on defense this year, I think, could come back to bite them this game, and Ole Miss may be able to pull this thing out. The thing with Ole Miss is past history dictates that when they're in position to contend for a divisional title, since we went to divisions, they end up usually finding a way to basically put themselves out of the race. Right now, they're holding on to dear life that Alabama might be able to lose one more game. But what they got to do is look at their schedule, and that's why I told them in one of the last videos I did about this, is they are worried about Alabama losing when they need to be worried about themselves, because they actually probably have a harder road to hoe than Alabama. So if they get enamored with all that and worrying about that, and if they try to overlook any of these teams that they have left, they're going to run into some issues. Auburn's running game, also, big key in this game. If Auburn can get long, drawn-out drives and keep the Ole Miss offense off the field, that would be something that would bode very well for Auburn and maybe allow them to pull this upset. Auburn, right now, is sort of on the outside looking in, but with a win over Ole Miss, suddenly Auburn's a contender, and we know how that works. Like I said, when they're down there on the Plains, they have the propensity to be able to just pull out a four-leaf clover from their tiger ass. They've done it many a time, especially when they're not expected to be the one that's going to rise up and win. They've done it that year they went to the SEC title game when they beat Georgia in that tip pass for a touchdown, and then they turned around and done the kick six on Alabama. So this game has a lot of intricacies and a lot of little caveats that make it sort of hard to predict. Ole Miss's history of not being able to beat Auburn in Auburn, and the fact that Ole Miss tends to choke and has been choking for the, I guess, the past 30 or 40 years as far as being able to win an SEC title, makes you think that maybe this is the game where Ole Miss finally pulls an Ole Miss. But in the end, I don't think Auburn's offense is going to be able to keep them off the field enough. And I don't think their defense is quite good enough to slow them down to the point like Alabama did. And you know, the thing about them playing on the road all year, and you say, why are you saying they're shaky? They're shaky road games. They won the game at Tennessee. Yeah, they won the game at Tennessee, but we all know that game was pretty hairy there for a second. Outside of the mustard and the golf balls being thrown about, Tennessee may have won that game. And that would have been like, okay, Ole Miss can't win on the road. But because they pulled that out, now they can say, well, we did win a game on the road. But every time that Ole Miss has played a game, a true road game, I'm not counting neutral site games in Atlanta against a basketball school in Louisville. True road games, Ole Miss has struggled. And Auburn's not a place that you want to struggle. But in the end, I think they're going to overcome, just like they did at Tennessee, because Auburn is not a complete team yet under Harsin. And plus, they got all that crap going around about Harsin may be dismissed from the team. All that noise from the outside about him not taking the COVID-19 shot, which, by the way, is horseshit. They need to leave the man alone. If he wants a shot, he'll get it. So, going back and forth on this game as well. SEC games are always hard to predict. But in the end, I think Ole Miss is going to do just enough to squeak this one out over Auburn. I think the final score is going to be Ole Miss 38 and Auburn 34. You guys and gals tell me what you think. Who do you think is going to be the keys to this game? And give me your prediction. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And, as always, KMCA to all the other teams.